The new 8 o'clock on CNN. Parker Spitzer, weeknights on CNN.
It was supposed to be a peaceful rally by Palestinians marking the Nakba. Hundreds gathered to march on an Israeli checkpoint that separates the West Bank from Jerusalem to commemorate the displacement of more than 700,000 Palestinians from their homes 63 years ago. The violence began before any of the marchers made it to the checkpoint. In scenes reminiscent of the two Palestinian intifadas, hundreds of young Palestinians let loose a deluge of rocks on Israeli security forces, while heavily armed Israeli military units responded with volley after volley of tear gas shells and rubber bullets. Scores were wounded and emergency response teams struggled to keep up.
So scenes of violence like this are playing out not only in the West Bank, but in the Gaza Strip, Jerusalem, and along the Syrian-Israeli border as thousands of Palestinians come out to mark Nakba Day.
In Gaza, Palestinians marched in numbers by the towering concrete walls that marked the border with Israel and were held back by Hamas security forces. But most worrisome to the Israeli government were the scenes along its northern borders. In Lebanon, thousands of Palestinians and Lebanese massed along the fence that separates the two countries. And in Syria, thousands more gathered on the border with the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights. The Israeli military said scores of the demonstrators tried to infiltrate Israeli territory and that its soldiers opened fire to turn them back.
This was well planned by the Syrian regime, who wished to turn away the international attention from the vicious acts that have been taking place in the Syrian cities themselves and turn them to the Israeli-Syrian border.
Despite this, many Palestinians are hopeful that increased pressure in the form of mass protests will bear fruit as it has in some Arab capitals.
We were inspired by the revolutions in Egypt and in Tunisia and by Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement in the past, and we decided we were going to follow the same methods to achieve our goal and to achieve our right of return so that we can again pursue opportunity with equality, with justice, and be free.
Until then, Palestinians are planning more protests against Israeli policies, and both sides are expecting more violence. Kevin Flower, CNN at the Columbia checkpoint.